Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today it's the second episode of Game Review Podcast by Usernamer, aka me. Yeah! So if you guys do not know what this is, again, I explained it last time, sort of. It's essentially going to be in the format of beginning bit with some text, so me just talking away, rambling randomly, probably knowing me. Then it will be the good points, my bad points, and my overall review. I have notes written down, or written, they're on a digital notepad, which is on my computer screen. And yeah, all fun and games. You can very clearly tell I've never really done this before. So let's move on to the game we're doing. So the game we are reviewing this week is Destiny 2. I've just dropped something. That's fun. Getting off to a good start this week on the podcast. Destiny 2 is I want to say an open world, but it's not really open world. It is, okay, I'm going to use open world. It is an open world game. You can go anywhere you want, except the world limits exist. So you have, I think it's 6 or 7 different planets you can go to, and you can just essentially go around, have a bit of fun, throw your mates off a cliff with a glitch, you know, the usual. Ride around a sparrow that's definitely way too small for your character. Yeah. All fun and games, really. Something else that Destiny does really well is the enemies. So there are 5 different enemy types, but they never add a new one. The most recent one we've had is the 6th, but we don't really... You can't really kill them yet. More on to that later. So, let's move on to the points, shall we? And the first point that I have is gunplay. And, oh my god, the gunplay is brilliant. I have not seen gunplay that is as good as Destiny's for ages. Destiny always has me dragging back to that game. Not because of its story. Don't make me laugh. No. The guns. They're brilliant. You can go around and literally have a gun that talks to you. It literally talks to you. It's so hilarious. As well as that, you have guns that do explosions when you get nearby enemies. Excuse me, moi? Could you just imagine you walk up to an enemy and you go and give them a big old hug with your sword, and your sword just explodes and kills everyone around you? Actually, I probably should not say that. Americans might get the idea. Americans, if you're listening, don't do it. And if you do it, wasn't me that gave you the idea. So, Destiny, the gunplay is fantastic. If you want to just go shoot some guns for a few hours, honestly, ignoring the story in Destiny, which I will get onto, it's just fantastic. I love Destiny's gunplay, and I really, really wish that other games followed its gunplay. Because if they did, I think shooters would be a lot better interactively as well. For example, Borderlands and Far Cry 6, they both have very similar gunplay in my opinion, but they don't hit that same factor that Destiny 2 does. Destiny 2 sort of sees the gunplay factor that I have, and instead of going up to it giving it a nice handshake, it punches it in the face, knocking it out. That's how good it is. Actually, that's probably not very good. Really should have thought that one through. Something else is the enemies. Now, it's not the story of them or anything else about them. It's their design. The enemies are so well designed. You have even down to the minute factor of what's it called? Neptune. No, not Neptune. Titan. No, not Titan. Hang on. You'll be hearing me clicking away as I find out the planet I'm on about. But on this planet, there is enemies that are very, 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 very not meant to be there. Europa. So there are enemies that are on this Europan planet, And obviously Europa is a very cold place. Now, usually the enemies that are there, so the Fallen, they don't have like white winter clothing on. They'll have like pirate stuff because they're meant to be pirates, and they have piracy gear. They throw grenades, etc., etc., etc. And these guys are they're designed. They have hoodies. Well, they're hoodies of their kind, like cloaks, and it's sick when you kill one of them in 2 different areas and you see the clothing designs different. It shows how much attention to detail these enemies actually do have. Another thing which sort of does correlate to the enemies is the world spaces. And until I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I was convinced nobody could do a better job than Destiny with game spaces. Now, I don't play a lot of games. My father can agree with that one. But I play games that sort of just make me happy. So a lot of races, F122. I want to get F123, BeamNG, Overwatch 2, Destiny 2. I play those sort of games. Ones that you can just repeat everything for hours and hours and hours, and I'd still be having fun. But the world spaces in Destiny are just so unique and beautiful. And it's a massive step up from the prequel, Destiny. Destiny. It's literally just called Destiny. It's such a step up. It's fantastic. I couldn't rate it any higher, to be honest. If I had English is not my. Well, I say English is not my first language. It is, which is the embarrassing part. If I had to just go into a game just to do like photography stuff, I'd do Destiny. So I don't really know what else I can really say, because Destiny is just a beautiful game to me, and I genuinely don't think I could find anything that looks any better than that does. What's the next thing? The bad points. So here we get to my gripe with Destiny, the story. Now, for anyone who's new and hasn't heard of Destiny, Destiny 1 had a really bad time in development. The original game did. So before Taken King came out, Destiny had a massive issue with its story. They were planning to have massive stories where you had to go and fetch, I think it was like a Rasputin, the AI Warmind, and you had to go save him, and you had to travel through all these different planets just to find him. Then they cancelled it last minute. So the game and the story that everyone was promised got cancelled. All because, I think it was Activision wanted a bit more money. So what they did was they split it into different sequels. Even though they've definitely gone off that path by now. Because I don't think having a weird man with a ghosty forehead was a part of their whole 5-year deal. Or 10-year? Was it 10 year? Yeah, 10-year plan. It's not Lawrence Strong in his 5-year plan. Or journey, as he likes to call it. But you do go through different planets, and you do technically kill everything. So you are following the original plan of going through every planet. But in the original base game, you would go to Earth to try and figure everything out. So Earth was sort of like the tutorial. That's how I would treat the Earth planet. Earth in Destiny 1 was the tutorial. And then you had Moon, Venus and Mars, which were the other planets. And they got more difficult as you go along. Now in Destiny 2, they went through that exact same development hell. You would have thought, oh look, they made Taken King. Oh look, they made Warmind. Warmind. They made Iron Lord Bingy. They made the Iron Lord. Oh, it'll be good. No. Development hell again. All because, once again, they wanted more money. And it wasn't the Bungie doing this. It was Activision. We know it's Activision because if you go and actually look at the Bungie website, they made Halo 3. How did you make that big of a loss? Halo 3 was fantastic. And now they're suffering with Destiny 2 because Activision basically dug them a hole, threw them in it, and started to bury them in there. And when they realised they wouldn't be able to dig a hole big enough, they gave them some money and left. Now, obviously, Bungie was bought out by Sony, I think, in 2021, which is massive as a massive Destiny 2 fan, because Sony can bring the funding to them. I'm just really hoping they don't make Destiny 2 a PlayStation exclusive. I will cry. But the story was just terrible on release. I hated the Red War. You had essentially a cabal, a big boy cabal named Ghoul, who was trying to get the light all to himself, and he had managed to take over the tower, the original tower anyway. And it was just so boring. He was the most boring enemy I think I've ever seen in video games. Seriously. All he was like, oh, I want big light. Oh, I still Speaker, so you can get me big light. But then Speaker dies, so I kill her. It's just generic, and it's boring. Now, Destiny have turned away from this, and I am very happy because of this. They have sort of gone to... I don't know the right word. They've gone to more interesting characters, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. They've gone to characters who are actually having a story, who actually have got problems of their own. For example, what's his name? The Exo Stranger. I know she's not an enemy, but she has got one of the most interesting stories in Destiny, with her being an Exo, her being a time-travelling Exo at that. Like, well, hold on a minute, what memo did I miss? And plus her ghost is just really cool. But, hey, we got Destiny in the end, and all we can say to that is really thank you, Bungie, because the gunplay, it's something else. Now, I've got developers put on here, but that's something very, very, very specific. So, I have got an issue with how the developers treat this game. Instead of giving it an ending or giving it more chances for it to actually have a closed story, it's got constant DLCs. So every year or so, you're paying about 80 quid to get DLCs and 4 season passes, sorry. Now, granted, 80 quid, considering it costs you 120 quid to get all of it separately, is perfectly fine. I couldn't care less. But my issue is the way they do it is very scummy. And I hate the way developers do that. The way they just go, oh yeah, well, we'll just continuously add to our game. Like, you guys have had a brilliant story. You can wrap it up. Cayde 6 is back from the dead. I did a video on Legends Never Die, a montage of him death. And now that's basically irrelevant because he's back! Well, actually, kind of doesn't because it's Legends Never Die. So he is back, so it's good. But Nathan Fillion, the original actor's back, or voice actor, sorry. So that's going to be incredible. So my overall review on Destiny is this. If you are a new player and you're just getting into Destiny, the door's there, mate. Run through it. Don't come back. It's not an easy game to get into. Definitely not. I wouldn't recommend this to people who aren't willing to put hours upon hours upon hours of their life towards getting an exotic. But as someone that loves the Destiny franchise, yoo-hoo, as someone who's willing to put hours of their life towards just getting a single gun, because it makes me feel like I'm being rewarded for my hard work, I don't really care. I love the game, and that's how it is. And I'm afraid that the people who are going on Reddit and saying, oh, Destiny 2 is terrible, even though we really shouldn't listen to people from Reddit anymore, or Twitter to be in fact, because all of them are going up in smoke. The blaze of glory with Elon Musk sat there with a flamethrower burning Twitter to the ground. But the way that I see it is this. Destiny really is a compelling game. It drags you in, because Bungie at their heart is a film studio. I don't know if you guys knew this. Bungie was originally created to be a film studio, but then they got into gaming and games, and now they're sort of stuck because they can't make films. You saw it with The Witch Queen, where you could see the live action stuff that they did, the camera angles were brilliant. And as a photography nerd and a videography nerd and everything nerd for cameras, I loved it. And as a kid, I remember being my dream, because I started playing Destiny, the original one, when the Dark Age, not Dark Age, what's it called? Darkblade? No, not Darkblade. Crota, Big Boy Crota. When Crota came out, that's when I started, Dark Below. When Dark Below came out, that's when I started playing Destiny. I played it on my dad's original Xbox One, if that tells you how long ago it was. And I loved it. I loved playing the game. And even as a kid, I hated the Hive. The Hive traumatized me when I was younger. I used to have sleepless nights because of those Hive. They were scary. But even now as an adult, or near enough an adult, I still do find them partly scary. Yeah, I wake up in the middle of the night shivering. Oh, scary! But no, in all seriousness, Bungie have got a very big nostalgic fan base because of Halo, and they need to prioritize on that. Now, if you guys are, I do sometimes wonder if I did ever grow up. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all next week.